And welcome back, everybody. We are about to go into match number 4 of Replay Sunday. I'm your caster, Aero, and today I am joined by Munkus.
Hello, everyone.
We also have a special guest. You can't quite see much of her right here, but if I scooch her back... Say hi to everybody, Alpha. Alpha has joined the cast, everybody. She decided she... wanted to harass me, so I figured I'd let her come up on the desk here. So tonight we are gonna see. It is tonight, right? Yeah, 5:30. So we're gonna see. This is the last match of the day, and I know as I was going through and updating the details for this match, we've got a couple of people that have been in chat all day. So I do want to shout out Killadin and Segatai for hanging out, watching these other games as we finally get to yours here, and Munkus has already seen this one, so he's not going to talk too much about the potential stuff later. I guess maybe I'll take on some of that. Leg gasp. Yes, you did. So our first match is going to be on Volskaya Foundry, it looks like, and you know, this is the first time we've seen Volskaya Foundry today. It's a map where, again, Sylvanas can get pretty significant value, whether it's with the Protector, or even the Merc Queen value out of the Siege Camp or Turret Camp, or I think that it even increases the Healing Camp, doesn't it? Do you know?
I think so.
So,
sure.
Yeah, so certainly some significant value out of Sylvanas. So, you know, expect to see some camp takers, and again, with this being a replay cast, we're not going to see the bans, the map bans, the hero bans, any of that stuff. We're just going to go straight into the action.
I do remember whose map choices it was, and I do remember what got picked first.
Okay. Whose map choice was this?
Spooky Ghosts, and Maiev was the first hero picked.
Oh, interesting. So Killadin getting that Maiev pick. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and hop into the game here. Let me get this ready. Segatai. Secretly just impatient to see how badly I play. Fair enough. All right. Starting up the game here. You're with me, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Good
deal. Game number 1 coming at you between Arrogant Nephalem and Spooky Ghosts. Arrogant Nephalem, a returning team, one of the first teams that I cast. I think it's actually might have been the second game that I cast solo. With Spooky Ghosts, which I believe is a new team.
Yes, and another interesting factoid: Eric with a K on Spooky Ghosts casted our my team's game, Beast Ghost. It was on Volskaya, and we also used Mephisto.
Oh. Interesting. Well, for Arrogant Nephalem, we've got Null Pointer on Stukov, Trabe on Sylvanas, Dekilladin on Maiev, Segatai on Garrosh, and Kime on Malthael.
And for Spooky Ghosts, we have Calidius on Greymane, Little Wolf on Lucio, Boundrix on Mephisto, Eric with a K on Blaze, and Rogoth on Johanna.
Good deal. Alrighty then. So right out of the gate, looks like the teams are both going straight to the middle. And gonna shout out my buddy Repsychic, who absolutely loves when people take Party Mix, which I think has been the exclusive pick for Lucio's all of the games that I've cast this week.
It's just because of the value from the wall, right?
Yeah.
Mephisto not going my build, going the Skull build, which used to be the standard. The Maiev went pure physical build, which I think that if you're going to go into the physical talents, especially on this map, you should go all.
So interestingly enough,
big pick on top.
Yeah, the throw onto Eric with a K on Blaze there, and Blaze doesn't exactly have a good way out with his jet propulsion because there's a wall of blue health bars there.
Yeah, a little surprising to see Eric with a K up top because the bottom lane is the solo lane here, and yeah, you'd think Blaze would be tussling with Malthael.
So we do see here Spooky Ghosts getting on their camp. Of course, you know, you want to get these camps as early and often as you can. Arrogant Nephalem showing up just a slight touch later, but they also commit a little bit more to making it happen, so they get the first one. Not a big deal.
Well, they've got about a quarter of a level lead because they didn't miss any waves while they were doing that.
Yeah, and with that kill onto Blaze, that gave them a lot of value in the top lane. Now, what I was going to mention earlier is Malthael's got on a pale horse, so it does. I mean, I can kind of see why they would have Blaze in the top because you might think that Malthael could be looking at going for a double soak. And certainly I would expect that later in the game.
Well, Blaze has good wave clear, and it's really easy to rotate from bot to mid to match up, but it's really hard to continually do the bot-mid rotation as...
Right. So I was just thinking it wouldn't have surprised me, and just throwing this out there, not calling that it's the right thing for them to do, but it wouldn't have surprised me if Malthael was in the top mid rather than and then they had a 4-man push bottom with the Sylvanas.
That could absolutely work.
And they're rotating down here. We've got Spooky Ghost coming down. Kime paying attention to that and pulling back. Both teams going to their siege camp now.
This is the right time to do the siege camp. Right before the objective spawns so they can get the most value.
Garrosh is gonna start on the heal camp, but he's by himself, so I don't know how much value
Good question about this.
Yeah, especially when you start seeing the wall of red coming towards you. So looks like they're just gonna go ahead and get started on channeling the tribute, and of course since they started their camp first, this is very slightly maybe in favor of Spooky Ghosts if left unattended.
Well, Area Nephalem right now is looking to soak to 7, and they also have control over the point, which is exactly what you don't want to happen if you're Spooky Ghost.
Yeah, and they come in, pop that turret so that they can start working on their own percentage here. Now they've got the challenge of Maev soaking in the top lane, cleared that camp, and they're going to have to deal with that at some point.
Yeah, that camp is going to get a lot of value during this fight over the point, and yeah, they're down a talent tier right now because they didn't continue to soak.
So we do see Mephisto zipping around in the back line, getting a lot of people with that lightning arc.
Mm-hmm.
And level 7's up for both teams. So we do see possession. We see that haunting wave at 7. You were talking about earlier. Also the subdue. A little bit surprised to see the level 4 talent Sin's exposed to add the damage with subdue.
Yeah, I think that's just to help the wave.
Yeah. So silence going out onto a lot of them there. But both turrets kind of providing value. But Maev, followed up by Garrosh, are going to be the first kills. Greymane going to go down in response with the damage coming out from Kime. So we get a 2 for 1.
Big stun by Blaze. Huge.
Yeah, it was a good start. They had a huge amount of silence there, but they didn't quite capitalize on the value that they had. And it was a little bit comical to watch those turrets turn and face each other and just shoot at each other. Screw these people, I want to kill the turret.
Now there's still enough time for them to get onto the point. They have an item advantage. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, it was at 97% unless somebody like dove in. It wasn't really happening. But keep in mind the Protector is a hero, so all of the things that affect heroes do affect the Protector, whether it's a percent damage, for example, or mostly percent damage, but stacks as well. So the Sylvanas stacks can continue to build on the Protector.
One problem that this Protector is facing is it keeps taking shots from the bottom and top tower. You need to always position it so it only gets hit by 1. They only got 2 towers down with this thing. They didn't get the well, didn't get...
Yeah, and unlike the Lord of the Rings, the 2 towers are not necessarily something you're looking for here. You want to get that well, you want to get a value out of a potentially fort damage if you can, depending on your team comp, of course. But yeah, I think that they could have positioned better, gotten that wall. And one other thing to keep in mind too, and I see this so often with Punishers, if you're the passenger and you're throwing out that laser, don't throw out a laser perpendicular to the wall. Like,
right.
Make it go over both of the towers and the wall. Take the moment.
Right.
To do
and
that.
Also, like that, I had like 5% health as I walked from top to bottom. You can take that protector, hang it back, and just let your co-pilot shoot the well.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
You can be nowhere near it and destroy it.
So we do get the heal camp now over for Arrogant Nephalem, so that's a good build-up of items for them here to get started going for the second control point. Sagatai saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and disengage from this, so get out of my way, Johanna.
Okay, I think every Greymane we've seen today has gone Cursed Bullet, and this might be the worst comp to pick Cursed Bullet into. It just does no damage to anybody on their team. They're super squishy.
Yeah, I think that the idea is probably to go into the Garrosh, but even, you know, it's almost kind of awkward with the Garrosh synergy because of the fact that, yeah, okay, it's 45% damage, but that just means that you burst him up to, you know, his better armor.
Right. Like, it does 40% of his current health, and he doesn't have a lot of health to begin.
So Kime chasing down Eric with a K in the bot lane, but he does get slowed. Uses that Wraith Strike to get up there. And I don't think he gets a kill, no, but it was close.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, barely had over 250. And
I wanted to draft Murky.
we have a lot of quests going on here. We have 67 stacks on the W quest, 9 on the cocktail, only 19 on the Skull quest by Mephisto. Oh, you went just to 21. Usually, you want the Skull quest to be done before you hit 10.
Yeah, I can see that. And, you know, just to point out, different build here for this Mephisto from what we've seen earlier today is that he's going into that Endurance of Hate. And we do see Bunker, which Bunker is a great talent. It was used almost exclusively forever. And then they practically doubled the cooldown on it and made Combustion the way to go for so many teams. I don't know that I've seen a Bunker in any game this week.
I think I understand the thought process. You drop Bunker on the edge of the cage so your team can leave the cage. But compare that to landing Durance and then following it up with Combustion.
Yeah, and that... I guess they've got the Johanna Condemn to go along to help set up the Durance. Durance has a long windup, so it's not that easy to hit.
It's slightly longer than the Skull windup, yeah.
It does have a longer range than the Skull, if I remember right, though.
It does, but you should never be throwing it in such a way where that's the thing. The deciding.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So we've got the turret coming up here. We've got 2 turrets for Spooky Ghosts. They've got...
Blaze hasn't chosen 13.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. Pretty far behind on the oil quest at 7 as well. There goes Maya deep into the enemy team. Does have the biotic emitter, so look for that to come out when they start to get low here. There's the Warden's Cage. Big taunt onto 2, and it looks like it's going to be Greymane going down first, followed by Johanna. Big silence to help that. Mephisto trying to get as much damage as possible into that team as overtime is proc thanks to Blaze, but Lucio's in there as well, and they're trying to just do whatever they can to stay in this fight. But
If Bunker came out super late, they could have very easily done a Combustion on top of that, got more value.
And that's a 5-man team wipe. And I can only imagine their comms. All right, guys, who's going to get in the Protector? Not me. Not me. I don't want to do it. Let Sylph get in the Protector. Wait, she's over there on the fort, like, dancing around.
Yeah, in chat pointed this out. Cage into silence equals buried alive with knives.
So one thing that I did want to bring up that I thought that they did really well here is that they went and pushed down that top fort, got the value there, then they came in, they started working on this. You know, you only have the Protector for so long, so spending 30 seconds of your Protector's time heading to the bot lane doesn't necessarily get you that much value. So yeah, they lose 25-ish percent, 30% of the I guess 40% of the protector, but they got 2 forts down with that, and now they're going to get value down here, and they'll get consistent pressure in those lanes.
Right. They nerfed the protector so it doesn't have nearly as much health and does slightly less damage, but when the other team can't contest because they're dead, take those force out. Like, go ahead and get that back.
And so with Greymane and Maiev in there,
Gary pops unstoppable, gets out of the turret, throws Mephisto. That's a silence on top of the cage. Wow.
Big stun onto Maiev as well. Probably saved Greymane. I said Greymane was in the protector. I meant Garrosh. Eric with a K is gonna get taken out by the dot damage coming from Sylvanas and Malthael. And we didn't call it earlier, but Johanna went down right at the beginning of that fight as well from the last rites, I think it was.
That was an amazing play by Segatai. He gets hit by the turrets, immediately pops unstoppable, just walks right up to Mephisto and chucks him into his...
Yeah, and Kilden calling out, yeah, we got a little bit caught out there, indeed, but ultimately you had that unstoppable Garrosh, so, buy Segatai a coffee, because he definitely saved your life on that one, Kilden. Of course, I think he also is the one that put you in that risk. I think he was the driver, so maybe don't buy him a coffee.
Yeah, I mean, you can't save people unless you put them into situations where you can save them.
Exactly. I just watched an episode of Daredevil where Foggy Nelson told Matt Murdock that you can't create that problem and then save people from that problem.
Right.
And expect to be the hero. So somehow, Segatai, you got turned into the villain in all this. Sorry, buddy.
Wow, big push top with the minion wave and Sylvanas.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Greymane's very late in coming back.
Yep, getting that pressure. They completely missed the Durance. Cursed Bullet going out hits Segatai there on Garrosh. And look at that dot damage coming out. They have to pop that Comfort.
5, 6 knife resets. Wow.
Yeah. And that's, that's another potential issue with Bunker is it sets you up in a position where you just get to take all the damage with the Phantom Knives. Because they know you're going to come in or come out somewhere around there, and with just Mephisto and Lucio here, another missed Durance there. I don't know that they can really stop this. Cora is going down rapidly. So looking at padding some stats here in game number 1 as that goes over to Eric and Nephalem.
Pretty decidingly too, 13-2. Oh my god. Look at the damage numbers. Compare Malthael to Sylvanas. 2 damage difference.
Indeed.
Not 200, not 2,000, 2.
Well, go ahead and go through some of these stats and talents here while I get this set up for game number 2.
Sure. I'm going to focus on some of the heroes that I know the best. Mephisto went a pretty standard build from before the patch, which is Q build into static field and endurance. I think that right now, with all the changes that have been made, I think he would have been better suited on this map to have taken spell power at 1, the big ult at 10, and the Region Globe thing at 4. That gives him more ability to rotate, more ability to clear, and he isn't so reliant on hitting people with trade all the time. Maiev did an amazing job here. Dekilden did a great job. 6 knife resets on that last fight. She also took a build which, if you're going to go Blade Dance at 4, I think you probably should go all in on the physical build. She took Nia's Memento at 1, Blade Dance at 4, and Armored Assault at 16. That means that she was just dealing so much damage when they were right next to her in that 6 knife reset fight.
All right, so I've got us all set up here for the next round.
And one last thing.
Yeah.
Greymane went Cursed Bullet. Don't think that's the right choice against super squishy teams. You really want go for the throat, especially to follow up with the Mephisto damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. you know, because that would give you a lot of value into that back line, if you can make it past the Garrosh and get value there. So they had you know, honestly, the Greymane's kind of an awkward pick into that too, because you've got these two, you know, heroes, the Blaze and Johanna, which are very, you know, bulky, solid frontline heroes, and you're kind of hoping that when you dive in, that for one, you're not going to be by yourself, of course, but for two, that you finish the job. And like you said, I mean, the go for the throat is critical to that. So starting off with a cursed bullet, yeah, that's great, but you're hoping that what, Mephisto finishes the job then? I don't know.
Right, and the other thing is they drafted Johanna with Greymane and Mephisto. Mephisto and Greymane, they want to dive in and they want to go in fast. Johanna is more about protecting the backline comp and keeping you safe. She has no way to dive in. She just has to walk up to people and hope they sit there.
Yep. So, again, so Monkus already knows the outcome of these games, but so the next map is Braxis Holdout, so I'm excited that we get to cast a second Braxis this week. And Braxis is very different even than the other two-lane map, right? Because BOE has a very strong... They both have very strong objectives, but in BOE, only one of you wins the objective, and obviously in Braxis, both teams get some objective. But it's very easy to stall these objectives out, so we may not even see an objective for the first 10, 12 minutes of the game, depending on how these teams play. And then there's a lot of team fighting. Because what else are you going to do when there's only two lanes and it's not a very big map?
Right. You might also almost call it the Volskaya of the two-lane maps, because it's all about fighting over that point. Instead of, whereas on Battlefield, part of it is racing the Immortals and also either fighting under your mortal, which can stun the enemy team, or their mortal, which can stun you. Here, it's all about who can win that four-man fight bot or gank top early.
Right.
This is 100% team fights.
So let's go ahead and get set up and ready for Braxis Holdout, game number 2. Currently 1-0 in favor of Arrogant Nephalem. I keep forgetting I have to actually do the watch and then go to the lobby and then start. Alright, there we go. And start.
Yeah, Maiev did get banned in this game. Because yes, it would have been a nightmare to fight against Maiev on Braxis. And the Kilden went from Maiev to Kel'Thuzad, which is possibly the most toxic hero on Braxis. You're never having any fun against Kel'Thuzad on Braxis. There's no way to avoid him getting stacks, and there's no way to control your body from getting pulled.
All right, so let's go ahead and pop up these heroes. Make sure that's showing. It is? Okay. So for, wow, I was going to say Dirt Defense Couch. That was a game ago. Arrogant Nephalem, we've got Null Pointer on Anduin, Trey, but running around on Sylvanas again, Segatai on Johanna, Dekilidin on Kel'Thuzad, and Kime on Malthael.
And for Spooky Ghosts, we have Little Wolf on Anna, Rogoth on Diablo, Eric with a K on Sonya, Boundrix on Genji, and Calidius on...
Alrighty, so taking a look at talents. So Shadow Dagger again at 1 for Sylvanas. We see the Fell Flame for Gul'dan as opposed to the Echoed Corruption.
This is a map I would definitely say go W quest on Sylvana at 1 because of how much team fighting is going to be going on and how many stacks.
Right. So let's see how things started off here between Eric with a K and Kime. Looks kind of quiet.
Yeah, they're doing kind of the bush dance, just sitting there getting passive soak.
I feel like I need intermission music. How long should I focus on these guys up here? I don't know. Let's go back down.
Well, the thing is that Spooky Ghosts have way better wave clears and a way better early game with Gul'dan. He just clears waves almost instantly, and Kel'Thuzad, he's only half of a hero before he gets 15 stacks, and he only becomes a full hero when he gets all 30.
Yeah, so he's only got 3 stacks so far. So Spooky Ghost's doing a pretty decent job of making sure that they... Never mind. Indeed. More action from the tumbleweeds clashing. I'm not sure who Migs is in chat. Is that you?
No, he used to be on Beast Coast, and he has played with Aero and Nephalem a lot. I believe he's actually a sub on their team.
Oh, okay. One of our subs, says Killadin. Fair enough. Segatai getting a whole lot of damage. Looks like he should be able to make it out. Pops the iron skin, and Genji throwing out the shuriken, trying to get some...
Genji plus Diablo is a very good combination to try to deal with Kel'Thuzad. Diablo can dive in, flipper. Genji can finish off the damage that Gul'dan stacks.
Yeah, and let's not forget Genji into Kel'Thuzad. That deflect on a Q from Kel'Thuzad can cause massive amounts of damage.
True, true.
And unlike a Tracer or a Li Ming, the other, or even a Tassadar, not a lot you can do to stop that other than just not cast it.
Well, she can, if he stands in the thing, she can cast chains on.
Oh, fair, fair. So Segatai, once again, getting very low. Gonna have to watch out for the potential of Genji coming in, but Genji was busy elsewhere. Killadin.
Anna having some problems hitting her targets with her Qs because they're just so flighty.
So we do see here Gul'dan being pretty low. Diablo also being pretty low. And Ana trying to get people healed up here so that they can get back onto this point. They did get 22%. Let's check out top lane here as Eric with a K looking to get a kill onto Kime. But Kime is just running around. Oh my goodness. Is this a kill? Is it? I don't know. Oh, it's not. I thought for sure that was going to be a kill one way or the other. Oh, and I missed the real kill. Damn it.
Missed the action by focusing too much on the tumbleweed.
Damn you, solo laners.
The cave gets caught, Sylvanas goes down, and the charge starts going to Spooky Ghosts. Things are starting to look more in their favor. I mean, one thing they could... Oh, they'll go down. I was going to say, Genji could very easily just rotate top and finish off Malphite.
Oh, but the big pull onto Gul'dan, it looks like that is going to be a kill, and that is. So we've got 20 stacks now for Kel'Thuzad. The flip onto Segatai, trying to get the body block so that Genji can do what he can to get that kill, but unfortunately just not enough damage just with one of them here, so...
Two very large waves coming out.
Yeah, and Gul'dan's not there to slow down this wave in the bottom.
Oh, I was about to say Spooky Ghosts have the advantage because of Gul'dan, but yeah, without him, there's not a ton of waves.
And they do have level 7 Spooky Ghosts now, so they're slightly ahead in XP, I think probably because of the 2 kills that they got there on Kime and...
What is Sonya doing? Look, she's top lane, she's in that bush. You know there are 4 people there. Why? Don't... Sonya, please leave. Sonya, please leave.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't know she's there, I don't think she's necessarily too much in danger, and she's getting the soak from those minions there.
Oh god, that's still super scary. Like, all it takes is one of them to check the bush.
Yeah, I mean, a Kel'Thuzad hook there, and you die, right? So... but I don't think that they knew that she was in there. But now they're getting the push in the top lane here, while Spooky Ghost is pushing just as quickly, if not faster, in the bottom lane. So we're going to get a trade of forts most likely here.
Most definitely. Yeah, it's trading.
That was questionable. Oh no, wait. Sonya, why?
I looked away for a second. Why was Sonya anywhere near them?
Yeah, that's a thing that I have mentioned even like in games that I've played or teams that I've played with is like, there's no reason for you to engage into a 1v4. Like, you're not going to defend the fort. You're not going to slow them down. You're just going to throw your life away, and that puts your team at a disadvantage for the next 30 seconds. Right. And I think Sonya thought that she'd be able to get some damage in and then get away, but, you know, the chain range is just so far, and that was probably a max range to get onto that glacial spike.
Even so, you're a melee hero. For one, you don't have a good escape. You shouldn't be anywhere near that team.
Yeah.
And this is also a mistake. Having 4 top while Sylvanas is bottom with 4, they're going to push way, way faster.
Yeah, I mean, they pushed faster the previous round, but I think that was because they'd already gotten a little bit of damage on the wall.
Also, Arrogant Nephalem was dealing with finishing off the Zerglade for a while.
Right, yep. And there's the Diablo charge onto Johanna with the Ana grenade as well.
This is a 4v5.
Doesn't matter. Kime up in the top manages to gather the point, get that started. Level 10's coming up for both teams.
Spooky Ghost knows that Malthael is top. They should all be rotating together to get on the other team with a 4v5.
And it looks like they're going to send 4 top, leave Sonya in the bottom, and they do see that, right? Because Vision's there, and now Sonya...
Yeah, they just showed top. They know Sonya is in bottom because Sonya was taking out that wall. Like, you can't give the other team this much information. You can't let them know that your team is split in 3 different points, because then they'll just make a play on it.
Yeah, so this is, now they're coming down, so they don't see the rotation just yet. Now it's coming in. So we've got a 4v4-ish. Now Diablo's coming in, so they'll get that 5th. There's a root going out into the Protect.
Protected!
Salvation.
Wow, clutch.
And a good Blessed Shield coming out into the backline, but it's going to be Genji onto Kel'Thuzad, and Anduin and Sylvanas go down with the help of that Gul'dan Horrify. 3 kills for Spooky Ghosts.
Yeah, that was super questionable by Arrogant Nephalem. Malthael's top. Y'all just needed to boost out of there. There's no reason to take that fight or even be that close.
Yeah, they were pushed a little ahead in on that fort. I think that, you know, they got a little bit... well, damn, what's another word for too much confidence?
Arrogance.
Arrogance. Yeah, maybe they were a little bit arrogant. No, just kidding. But, I mean, that was a good play by...
Oh, God,
Spooky
I
Ghost.
see what you did there. It took me a second.
Once again, so we see the same thing. Like, this has happened a couple of times now where, you know, a single player gets cut out, and most of the time it's been Sonya. You know, if you're Sonya, you've got to play a little bit, I don't want to say more passively, but you have to be in a position where you're not going to get yourself killed. You don't have Leap, you took Wrath. And so, you know, unless your team is right there, you have to expect that they're coming up there.
And Kel'Thuzad just finished his quest. But the thing is, I don't think Sonya got caught out. It looked like she used chain to engage.
Well, I guess what I mean is like, she was the only one there. And if they're coming in, you have to assume that you're not seeing one person, you're seeing a whole bunch. The chain onto Diablo, pops the APOC, doesn't connect on anybody other than Segatai, who used Iron Skin. The Blessed Shield, a good solid pause button to allow the team to disengage, as Nano Boost was used on Gul'dan there as well.
See, I'd be saving APOC to stop the Holy Word and then follow up the stun with a Horrify. Because the Holy Word Salvation is setting people up for your Wanda.
Right. And good job on Sonya in that round. You know, I do want to call out, because I just kind of, you know, pooped all over for the deaths she's had. But, you know, Sonya went in and was able to take out Kime on Malthael. And in that case, you know where the enemy team is, you know where your team is, and if you can make that 1v1 happen and win that, by all means do it. You know you've got all the information in the world at that point to make that happen.
Right. The teams are trading forts here.
Gotta be. Yeah. See, what did we just say? Sonya, no, don't do it,
Sonya. Why? No!
Oh my goodness.
Sonya had so much to live for. Why?
Like, a little bit, the briefest moment of patience and your team's coming down. They've got their ultimates. There's the nano boost on Gul'dan. You know, you come around from the camp over toward the point. You can potentially cut them off with your team rather than, you know, stalling them, hoping that your team is going to get there before you die. Like, it just I'm so angry.
It was very much a Leroy Jenkins moment.
Yes, it was. So the APOC going out, but the last rites manages to finish off the Diablo. I think Iron Skin was popped there that prevented Johanna from getting charged into the wall. Great timing on that. And ultimately stopping Diablo in his tracks.
And now he has no souls for the next team.
This is a no, we don't poop on Sonya. Oh, man. Well, now they're, this is maybe a little bit better position for them, but again, Diablo has no soul, so, you know, at least they have all of their team here, so there's that.
They really want to just start clearing top now.
Yeah, because that camp's going to take a fort.
Top. Right, the camp can take the fort, the Zerg wave is coming in there. Honestly, I might have just let the objective finish so that you were right there anyway. You clear their wave and you keep going. Because right now you have a potential to lose keep if, say, you finish channeling the objective bottom.
Indeed, yep. And that's, you know, that's one of those plays where it's difficult to appropriately call it. You know, do you get the value, at least when you're in the middle, when you're in the heat of the moment, like, do we stall out this or do we let it just go?
Right.
You know, based on what ultimates you have available, based on their positioning, your structures. And it's not as simple as, hey, we don't want to let them get 100%. Well, they're at 98% already.
Right.
So they've got almost all of it anyway.
Yeah, a lot of times on maps, one thing people don't do. Oh wait, big fight here. Kel'Thuzad gets stunned, gets chained, protected by the way. Oh, grenade comes out. Sylvanas kills too. How is Dag alive? How did Kel'Thuzad not die there? Oh my god.
The power of Anduin compels you. And, you know, as you said earlier, I mean, I think that was exactly the call to make, was that, you know, if Diablo waits and holds his APOC, then Kel'Thuzad dies there.
Absolutely, yeah. He can't do anything.
Instead of ripping it at the very beginning, trying to, you know, to chain off of it. Because, you know, I guess you do have a fair number of interrupts for it. You've got the Horrify, you've got the chain from Sonya, you've got the Sleep Dart from Ana. But all of those, with the exception of Horrify, require that they don't hit somebody else. APOC, not so much. But then again, you're Diablo. You have two other ways to interrupt it. So I don't know.
I like APOC because it's guaranteed to stop it. And this is also, we were just talking about, maybe it's a good time to let the other team just have the objective, because they were all up and able to clear it a second ago, but now with the Zerg wave finishing, they're in such a bad time.
Yeah, Gul'dan's dead. He got caught by Kel'Thuzad on a chain next to the wall there. And now you've got a pretty significant Zerg wave coming into your core here. This could very well be game. Sonya comes back because, obviously, if she doesn't, it makes it nowhere. The APOC goes out. Genji throwing out the deflect. And Kil'jaeden getting very low thanks to that Dragon Claw. Doesn't really do anything to the Johanna. It is KT who dies, but he's back with that phylactery.
Yeah. Core took a couple of 4 shots. Wow, Anduin's down. They really overstayed their welcome, especially since Malthael was never in the...
Yeah, Genji ripping them to shreds with that Dragon Blade, and so now I was going to say the question is either they're going to go boss or they're going to go look for Malthael. I was going to say the correct call should be boss. They can rip this real fast. They have a Genji.
Get it real fast. Hope that it goes top lane.
Yeah, to push out with your next Zerg wave, absolutely, yep.
Pushes with the next Zerg wave, and it means that their Katas are pushing under your core.
Yep, absolutely. Kil'jaeden and Segatai and Migs in chat watching the positives and negatives happen. And there's nothing quite like watching yourself crash and burn at a moment like that, right?
Right. Oh, Genji gets caught, protected by the way.
And this boss now is just ripping through these towers. I don't know that they can get the keep necessarily. Well, we'll see. The Gul'dan manages to negate the last rites, but Anduin negates all of the damage in the backline here. Blessed Shield goes out, trying to finish off the Genji, just barely doesn't do so. But Malthael shredding that team. And say goodnight to Diablo. He'll be back in a moment. Now, Sylvanas, not done, wants to finish off this wrathful Sonya. And take a look at this keep. About 10% health on that bad boy. So they don't even lose the keep. They keep their catapults, and they get a kill.
Ooh, that could have been disastrous. We keep harping on this. Diablo should be saving his stun for Holy Word Salvation. Literally every time he uses APOC, then Holy Word Salvation.
Right, yep. And here they come engaging. Malthael's not here.
45
Segatai is in danger. Does go down, so that's a camp. That's going to end up being that keep, I imagine, for sure. And Genji getting the reset value out of his Dragon Blade there, but used Dragon Claw, but didn't have Protector, didn't use it anyways.
There was no reason to be fighting on that camp 4v5. Oh man.
And Malthael gets caught, so that's now 2 for 2? Wasn't there another kill? I thought there were 3 kills in there. Maybe Kel'Thuzad died and returned. Let's look.
No, because Kel'Thuzad had used it before after dying on the core.
Could have sworn there was another kill in there, but okay. So channel starts for the red team, but Gul'dan gets picked by Dakilladin, getting that chain there, and now this 3 for 2. That was all of their damage. So
yeah, Gul'dan, why were you there?
Yeah, you're just not a tank, buddy.
Let's see here. Yeah, top lane. The interesting thing is that right now the game favors Spooky Ghost because they have 26% already done. Top lane is their Zerg wave, and it's basically an empty lane for them right now. That keep is going to die immediately.
Yeah, but level 20 is online for Arrogant Nephalem, so I expect them to come in and try to take this this fight, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. They don't have Malthael yet. He does have On a Pale Horse, but neither does Spooky Ghost have pretty much all of their team, so channel started for Arrogant Nephalem. I think that ultimately they could probably gather this to 100% and push with 20s.
4v5. It's 4v5. Gul'dan's not there.
We do have a Blessed Shield, so if they get a good engage on this, and level 20 is now available for Spooky Ghosts.
92, 94. Stop at 94.
And there's the APOC, doesn't hit anybody, so that is one ultimate down.
Being a little bit too greedy with the APOC.
And top lane has catapult pressure. Segatai not walking into the bush. So good job on that. Does get charged flipped, but no stuns out of that. Hellgate going out.
Beautiful
in the back line. Callidius in not that much danger. I thought he was in more danger. And there's the Dragon Blade, but the Salvation is up. Kime spreading out that damage, but is going to be the first to go down. As Null Pointer as well on the Anduin goes down. Segatai trying to make it out. Does Segatai not have Indestruct? Oh, no, Indestruct Segatai. Not that it would have saved you. So now we've got 5. Where's the 5th? There's the 5th one. So now the keep goes down for Spooky Ghosts. And now they're looking to the core.
Yep.
I feel like this should win them the game.
Yeah, it should.
We see the flip on Trabe. The
chains come out.
The chains. Diablo's going down. That's a great place for them to start. 50%. Big damage going out on Genji and Sonya. The core's at 30%, but they're all so low. Callidius, and he can't drain out. There's nothing to drain. 5%. Oh my god.
4. Less than 4%.
Oh my god. Oh, it feels so bad. 900 health.
But wait, they're capping the point. The one thing,
Oh, no.
the only thing that's a mistake to do is capping this point. Because that Zerg wave is coming down on a 4%.
Yeah, I don't know. There's very
probably,
little shielding on that core.
It's probably game anyway, but like that's literally the only way you lose at this point is by finishing.
Yeah, exactly. There's no value to getting the Zerg. It goes into the keep. You have plenty of time. I don't even think it makes sense to waste time killing these minions, other than that they were trying to wait for their people. I think that they just get in, get the damage going, break this shield down, and win the game. And it looks like that's going to be what happens. What? The BM from Dekilladin, you know that Shadow Fisher doesn't do any damage to the core. I see you in chat with the BMs. So yeah, they're actually kind of lucky that they had everybody close enough and that the core was already fairly low. Because you're right. I mean, that Zerg wave, like even the minions, the first wave of minions would have caused enough damage to bring down that shield.
Like, to put it another way, if Diablo had full souls and had come back, he probably wouldn't have been able to delay them for just long enough for the Zerg to put. It really didn't take much.
Killadin says he used it to dodge it. How do you use Shadow Fisher to dodge an APOC?
Oh god, I'm looking at talents and I just realized something. Okay.
What are we looking at?
Alright, so Gul'dan, he starts with Q build, Pursuit of Flame.
Uh-huh.
But then he goes Bound by Shadow at 7 instead of Spell Power at 7, which is kind of the standard with that build. If he had gone Spell Power at 7, the core dead.
Okay, Killadin, I gotcha. So it's not BM, it's just, oh my god, there's a giant Lord of Terror chasing me. Hit all the buttons, try to live. Gotcha. And you're right. I mean, there were so many times that so many heroes were very close, and that core, does die with that spell power bonus. Although I don't know, he may have gotten resets out of that too, because there were heroes there that he was getting Qs on. But
no, but he was throwing all of his Qs onto the core at that point. He wasn't like getting his corruption to be any lower.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and quit out of that. So 2-0 for Arrogant Nephalem. Good job to Arrogant Nephalem as they take the series and 3 points. So a whole bunch of 2-0s today in our replay Sunday. We saw the first game, 4 Uthers and an Alex versus Censored in Div D East. We saw Div D West with Backbone CS and Randy Newman. Then we saw Bancho and Duratan's Couch in C East. And then, of course, now Arrogant Nephalem and Spooky Ghosts. I want to just throw a quick shout out to everybody in chat who stuck around with us for the last 3.25 hours. I gotta say, I miss HGC. I don't know about you guys, but Saturdays and Sundays were loads of fun being able to watch HGC. And getting to play these replay casts here today has kind of brought some of that in. So I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Look in chat, in the Discord chat, for something that's going to be announced here later this week, coming from yours truly, that you might enjoy watching also on the weekends. Monkus, before we say goodbye to all of our friends out there in Twitch land, I want to give you an opportunity for any shout outs or call outs or anything you'd like to say to the people at large.
First, I'd like to point out Sylvanas undefeated in games today.
Indeed, that's true.
And I'd like to shout out to my team, Beast Coast. That's Mega Muffin, Gingy Boy, Saiyan, Sidley, it's Cavalier Rest, Super Goat, and Secret. So, yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my team.
Good deal. Excellent. Thank you very much for joining me today, Monkus. I appreciate it. I'm going to throw up a quick commercial about the NGS Patreon. If you're not already a patron of NGS, certainly consider that. Take a look at the website. There are a variety of patron rewards, some of which I don't know if you'll be able to see behind me, but there are, well, whatever, player cards and rubber chickens and screaming goats. Because why not? There's
Nice.
also the opportunity for replay casts with Mr. Fisky, some logo designs, some highlight reels, all kinds of different things. So make sure you check out the Patreon. Helps us to keep things like the website going, which Wraithling has done a fantastic job on. And if you're a captain and you played a game after Wednesday, make sure that you have uploaded your results not once, but unfortunately twice. Make sure that it's stuck, because we had to redo a bunch of those games due to a change in the way that the replays were done due to the patch. So make sure you take the time to do that. That's it. We're done. I'm Aero. That's Monkus.
I'm Monkus.
Alice and Alpha did their thing. They went off to do their own thing. So everybody out there, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again here soon when the next cast comes up.